Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, barking up the wrong tree. My stepmother tried to donate my children's clothes behind my back. I don't want her near my family anymore. Update. I thought it was over. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Barking up the wrong tree. So this isn't about anyone in my family, but a customer of mine's family. Backstory. I've started walking dogs as a way to grab some extra cash, and a lot of the times I go to the homes of customers while they're away at work or on vacation, but every once in a while I'll be taking care of the dog while the owner is still at home. This is one of those cases. PP, pet parent, is a younger woman who has a daughter a couple months old. She and her wife felt bad that their dog wasn't going on as many walks or getting as much attention as before, so that's where I come in. The dog is a large, absolutely sweet pit bull who just has to bring me his favorite toy whenever I come over. I'm absolutely in love with him. And his name, dog, is Ferdinand, like the bull. He's an absolute saint of a dog, and he adores his new baby sister. When PP is holding the baby and sitting down, he comes and puts his head on her leg and just watches the baby, wagging his tail. It's so cute. I'm getting off topic. Whoops. Anyways, story. PP is currently inside taking a quick nap while the baby sleeps, so I have Ferdinand outside and I'm playing with him. I have a key to the house, so at the moment the house is completely locked up. I'm in the backyard with him and I hear a car on the gravel driveway. PP's wife? She normally doesn't get home early, so I walk around to the front and see a woman jiggling the door handle. Excuse me? I walk up to her, but keep a safe distance and hook Ferdinand up to his leash. He doesn't seem terribly happy that this person is here and is hiding behind my legs, but watching her like a hawk. Who are you? She shoots back at me. That immediately sets off more alarm bells. RW, random woman, didn't seem to expect another person being there. I cautiously introduce myself, figuring, hey, maybe she's a relative that was planning a surprise visit. I ask her who she is and what she wants. She responds with, I'm baby's name, grandmommy. Okay, barf, grandmommy. I found it super weird she didn't say, I'm PP or PP's wife, mother. Just the baby's name and her title of grandmommy. She tells me she's here to take care of the baby, and I tell her I'll go get Paige as I walk around to the back door, since she's blocking the front one, and she follows me. Ferdinand is not at all happy with this and keeps glancing up at me, and then back at RW. I pull out my key and go to unlock the door. RW is eyeing the key hungrily. I let Ferdinand in first, and then go to slip in after him. RW tried to come in too. I block the door and tell her that she's not allowed in until PP says so. RWB*, she's a fit. Starts saying she'll have me fired and that she has every right to come in. I just shrug and start closing the door. She starts pushing against it. Luckily, I'm stronger than her, but she still tries to squeeze through the tiny gap. I don't want to slam the door on her, since I'm working and can't do that kind of stuff. Ferdinand, on the other hand, has no qualms about walking up to the part of RW that's in the door, looking up at her, and for the first time since I met him, growled. This startled her enough that I finished closing the door. She's still screaming and hollering at me. I lock the door and then deadbolt it. On my way to CPP, I also deadbolt the front door. PP is now awake. Ferdinand runs up to her, and then he immediately goes and sits next to the baby's crib. She asks me what's happening and I tell her. Her face goes pale. Her first question is she in the house? I tell PP no, and she sighs in relief. We then head a giant slam at the front door followed by scraping sounds. I tell her to stay put and go to look. Through the small crack in the door frame, I see a card, like credit card, being swiped up and down. RW managed to get it between the bottom lock, but the deadbolt was holding strong. PP is dialing the police and I tell this to the RW, hoping she'll leave. She does, kinda. I peek out the window and see her trying to get the car seat from PP's mom's car. This was kinda stupid on my part, as I didn't know if she was armed or not, but I sneak out the back door and go around to stop her. RW is probably 5 feet 4 inches, maybe 130 pounds. I'm 5 feet 8 inches and 180, so I beat her in size by quite a bit. I managed to get her away from the car, but now she's screaming and hollering something fierce. She's trying to scratch at me and yelling about how that's her grand baby in there and how she's not going to stand by while 2F/GD/Kess raise her. So I pepper sprayed her. Well, to be 100% accurate, I sprayed her with bear spray. I carry it around when I walk dogs just in case, but this is the first time I've ever used to. She starts howling in pain, so I go back inside and relock the back door. Baby is now awake and crying, and PP is too. She's still on with the officers, but I can hear them in the distance. I ring PP's wife on my phone and let PP talk to her. When the cops finally arrive, I got outside and talked to them. One officer takes RW away, and only then do I let the officers in to talk to Paige as I take Ferdinand and the baby to another room to calm them down. Eventually, everything settles down, and I go back in to talk to PP while we wait for PP's wife to get home. Apparently, RW was not PP's mother, or even PP's wife's mother, but the sperm donor's mom. Sperm donor was a really good friend of PP. She had apparently been livid that her son's child was being raised by two lesbians that she decided to take matters into her own hands. And this wasn't the first time this has happened, but it's the first time it was that bad. They're moving forward with a restraining order and everything, but that's as much as I know for now. Besides a bruise from being tackle-hugged by PP's wife, I'm fine, and PP/baby are fine. Ferdinand was given lots of smooches for helping me out. Edit. I won't be posting any more about this besides this post since I don't want to step on PP's privacy, but she said I could post the story itself. Same with not providing a picture of Ferdinand, as he is pretty unique looking and I don't want to make any mistakes regarding their personal information and such. I hope that's alright with everyone. The sperm donor's mom. I'm sorry, what was that? WTF. Sounds like someone is salty they don't have grandchildren. I always wonder if these people understand the irony behind their moral high ground stance. Like, bruh, you just try to break into the house, and you think they're the ones with moral issues? You are a wonderful human being, protecting that woman and her child that way. I hope they get a RO on the psycho. You and Pup both deserve cookies. By the way, not meant to be condescending. I'm 8 months preggo and cookies are my obsession. Hey, cookies are delicious. PP's wife took Ferd and I out for ice cream. Pit bulls used to be known as nanny dogs because of how sweet and protective they are. Ferdinand knew that something was wrong. I am very glad you stepped up so he didn't have to. My stepmother tried to donate my children's clothes behind my back. I don't want her near my family anymore. CW. Child abuse. For context, I, 34F, live in Brazil. I'm not sure how well other countries are being informed of this, but the state of Rio Grande do Sul has been going through a devastating flood that is engulfing entire towns and affecting thousands of people. My family doesn't live in Rio Grande do Sul, but we, like many others, are donating to the survivors. I live in an apartment with my husband, 37M, and our children, 10M and 6F. A couple weeks ago, we organized some of our kids' old clothes to donate. My father and stepmother told me that they were donating their clothes as well and offered to stop by, pick up our clothes, and donate everything together. I agreed. The day of, I had an emergency at work. I left the clothes in 2 bags by the front door, gave my father the password to our place. We have a keypad lock and changed the code frequently, and asked if he was okay stopping by while I wasn't there. He agreed, but later told me he was busy and his wife would go instead. Sometime later, my stepmother texted me, confirming she'd gotten the clothes. When I got back home, both bags were still there. I instantly got confused. I started pondering what clothes my stepmother had picked up, which led me to check my kids' closets. Sure enough, half my daughter's clothes were gone, as well as about a third of my son's. I called my father. Thankfully, they hadn't taken the donations anywhere yet, so I was able to get everything back. My stepmother explained she couldn't find the bags, so she just went to the closets and picked up whatever looked like it wouldn't fit them anymore. If anyone else had done this, I probably wouldn't be this upset. Sure, the bags were right by the door, but I've been inattentive before. It happens. But knowing my stepmother did this drives me mad in ways I can't describe. My relationship with my stepmother has always been bad. She was emotionally abusive towards me and my little sister when we were young. I could write a book about the damage she caused, but there's one particular part of the abuse that's relevant here. Early in her relationship with my father, she put on some weight. When she started making efforts to lose it, she decided the entire family needed to do so as well. She told me, then a preteen and only slightly overweight, and my sister, this started when she was 5, that we were obese, forced us both into increasingly restrictive diets and tried to monitor what we ate at our mom's place. We were too young to understand what was actually going on, so my mom didn't realize how abusive the situation was until years later. From that moment on, our contact with our father, who joined in on the restrictions most of the time, and stepmother was mostly limited. We both managed to reconcile with our father, but the damage had been done. To this day, I have a complicated relationship with food. Years later, my stepmother was diagnosed with BPD. She's still in therapy and has apologized, but I never forgave her and I never will. I'm cordial with her, but only for my father's sake. She's tried to make comments about my daughter's weight before, but me and my husband, and sometimes my father, always shut her down. Every time my stepmother buys her clothes, they are at least 2 sizes too big. We always exchange them. My daughter is actually small for her age, which only makes this more ridiculous. Looking at the clothes she tried to steal from my kids almost made me weep. Every single piece was either brand new or just fit them perfectly. Some of their favorite clothes were there. There's an astronaut onesie my daughter got for her birthday, literally 2 weeks ago, that she's obsessed with. For of her favorite dresses, some of her costumes, her ballet uniforms, and a few shirts she also loves were almost gone forever as well. She stole less from my son, but still took many of his favorites as well. I'm cutting contact with my stepmother. My husband agrees with me. I don't care how much therapy she's done or how much she seems to have improved. I don't want her anywhere near my family ever again. This was the last straw. I refused to let her damage my children the way she damaged me. But I don't know how to talk to my father about this. We've both put a lot of effort into our relationship, and I don't want to lose whatever we still have. My stepmother explained she couldn't find the bags. So, she knew the donations had been bagged up and raided your kids' closets anyway instead of, here's a concept, calling to ask where the bags were. There is no way in hell that that wasn't on purpose. No, you are not overreacting. Cutting her off makes sense. It's a good thing she didn't take the bags and raid the closets. If she had taken the bags, it probably would have taken longer for OP to check if something was amiss, resulting in the clothes probably already having been donated. No contact is definitely the way. I hope you can get over this awful trauma. Having someone unwanted going through their possessions is horrendous. Put a couple of bags where you put the other 2. Photograph them and send them to your dad. Then tell him that lying and stealing are reasons you will not have her around. Ask him how he would feel if the situation were reversed, that they had left a couple of bags by the door for you to pick up. Instead, you ignored the bags and raided their closets, taking half of their clothes. Stepmom would be screaming to high heaven and probably have you arrested. Some people never understand until it happens to them. Update: I thought it was over. So if you read my last post, my MIL who we are in C with called my husband after 7 years without talking. He did not answer and let go to voicemail. Her VM was infuriating as it was worded that she could forgive us for everything and just wants to be family. Vomit. Well, she called last night and my husband was with me. I couldn't help myself and answered the phone. Me. Hello? MIL. Pause hello? Me. Yeah. MIL. Is so there? Me. Yup, and he is permanently unavailable to speak to you. Do not call us again, thank you. She wanted to say something and I just hung up. Please pray she doesn't call again. I don't know if I'll be able to keep myself in check. If she does call again, I think we may contact a lawyer. Giving her nothing, no info or emotion is way worse for her than to get angry at her. Greyrock her. Don't give in to the NC. Block her number. Better yet, change your numbers. I wish we could change our numbers, but it would involve way too much concerning my husband's job. We will be blocking going forward though. I would contact a lawyer now. Always keep your ducks in a row, locked and loaded. They could be your first line of defense. There is nothing wrong with a cease and desist letter. You handled that very well. Informing her that you and so don't want her to contact you neither now nor ever is the only thing to say. Then you can carry on with the NC that you have enjoyed for the past 7 years. You and so deserve kudos for staying strong and choosing your relationship and a peaceful life over toxic sludge. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.